Louisiana All American Sports Show. 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 Louisiana. If the sports you wanna talk about, then listen to the hottest show that's coming out the South. It's Eric Hatfield and Coach Prairie Daniels, man. They're gonna sit you down and tell you all about the game and make it plain. 96.9 FM, that's the station. To hear the best sports talk show in the nation. Without hesitation, you should get with this and get your popcorn ready for you better not miss. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana. It's Joker B. Check this out.
Today is a very special day. It's kind of another first for Louisiana All American Sports. We're having a lot of firsts. First of all, this is Eric Hatfield, and I'm here live with Coach Perry Daniels in the flesh, which is a little different than every week, right?
Absolutely.
And another thing that is pretty good is that we are live here at the Southern University campus for the Southern University homecoming. Perry, it's a beautiful day. It's a perfect day to be at Southern. Tell the folks why they should be out here.
Hey man, so this is Southern Louisiana football at its best, and South Louisiana just has a really good football atmosphere here today, as well as I'm sure across town, Eric. There's a similar type of scene. Last night, the high school scene was really great. We had the opportunity to broadcast live from Scotlandville, and now we move a few blocks up the road and cross the street, and we're on the bluff. And I'm just excited, man, about what's going down tonight. We've got the Florida Gators in town. We've got the Prairie View A&M Panthers in town. So it's just going to be a really good football night.
I'm really thrilled. You know, we covered some prep football last night. We have if you think about it, our guest today is kind of going to tie all that together in a manner of speaking, because we're on the Southern University campus. The Southern University Lab School head football coach is Marcus Randall, and if that name sounds familiar, that is because Marcus Randall is the former starting quarterback of the LSU Tigers. Of course, he was on the 2003 national championship team at LSU, and he will be joining us very shortly. So it ties together Southern University, high school football, LSU. There's just a whole lot to get excited about here today in Baton Rouge on the Southern University campus. Folks are out barbecuing today. There's some Jupiter jumps, some inflatable children's toys and amusements. It's just a very festive atmosphere. It really is the best of Southeast Louisiana and our Louisiana culture, our football culture, our university culture, our history. It's just I'm feeling the adrenaline rush going as I'm just sitting out here kind of taking everything in, Perry.
Yeah, this is what it's all about, Eric. And I guess we should go over some scores and follow our normal format.
Absolutely.
Joker's back in the studio, and he's keeping us running there, man. But it's you and I, and let's make this thing happen and give the folks a great show.
All right, well, we're going to do that. First of all, last night we got to discuss our Louisiana All American Sports game of the week. We went to North Baton Rouge, not too far from here, about 2-3 miles from here, to Scotlandville. They hosted their District 4-5A rivals, the Central Wildcats. The Wildcats came in and they were stung by the Hornets right away. The Hornets won 34-0, and you're going to hear this name a lot. You've heard this name a lot on our show, and you're going to continue to hear this name a lot for at least the next 2 years. Quarterback Levi Lewis was absolutely exceptional for the Scotlandville Hornets. This is a kid that seemed to do everything right and had the little intangibles going this way. He was making good runs, throwing excellent deep passes, and really Scotlandville smothered the Central Wildcats before they could even get out of the gate.
Yeah, it wasn't even a close contest. That Scotlandville team is really good. As I mentioned last night on the broadcast, they are as good as you all describe every Friday night from 7 to 10 when we cover those guys. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do next week at Walker. That should be a really good football game next week. I'm not sure where we go. I think we'll probably go back across the river.
I believe it's Port Allen Bruley. I think it's next week.
Civil War.
Yeah, we got keep checking the schedule. But if the Civil War is next week, and I think it is on the 23rd, Port Allen Bruley, that's where we'll be. Just keep checking the schedule at Louisiana All American Sports .com. It was really an exceptional contest. Walker, of course, hung a lot of points up on Central too. They put the ball in the air a lot themselves, so it could be an old-fashioned shootout. It's going to be an interesting, I guess, kind of a quagmire with all these teams beating up on each other in District 4 5A. Denham Springs almost handed Zachary a loss last night. Walker was handed a loss at the hands of Live Oak. Zachary, of course, defeated Scotlandville last weekend in what I think might have been the regular season game of the year, defeating them 49-46. So that division is up in the air. It's like you throw a bunch of marbles against the wall and try to get the right one with the lucky number on it as far as trying to win that district.
And Live Oak seems to be the surprise in that district. I didn't anticipate that. As we chatted with Coach Valdez last night, he mentioned how hard they played, Eric, that Live Oak team. So they could beat anybody any week if they beat a very good Walker team. We've seen Walker put up some points. So to get handled by Live Oak makes me weary of the Live Oaks team.
That district, that 4-5A, is starting to rival 5-5A in some ways, and we talk about 5-5A all the time with Catholic High and Santa Ma and Dutchtown and McKinley and the like. So look, there's a lot of action forthcoming on the high school scene. We're going to go through some scores last night as we have them rolling in on the high school front. Baton Rouge Catholic defeated Broadmoor 47-6. Quick shout out from our listeners in New Orleans. My high school, Ben Franklin, defeated our old non-district arch rival, Ecole Classique, our quasi-home stadium, Ecole Classique, 46-6. Getting back to Baton Rouge, though. Hang on. Donaldsonville defeated Baker by the score of 28-14. Dunham over Capital 45-6. Dutchtown, we just mentioned, over McKinley 35-6 in a District 5-5A contest. East Ascension brought out the whooping stick on Santa Ma.
Santa Ma, man, that's a big win for that program.
Huge in that district. And Santa Ma is not a team that rolls over at all. East Feliciana defeated Christian Life Academy 34-28. Scrolling on down the line a little bit here, we had Kentwood defeating St. Helena Central 40-6. Lafayette Christian Academy defeated Hanson Memorial 35-14. Live Oak, as we mentioned, defeated Walker 23-0. And hang on, folks, as this is brought to us by the World Wide Web. Little bit of a delay here. Plaquemine, this was a huge one in District 4A. Plaquemine slugged it out with defending champion Livonia and nipped them by the score of 30-24. Plaquemine has just been running roughshod over the toughest of tough opponents, and maybe this could be the year when the Plaquemine, is it the Green Devils? Is that their mascot?
Yes, that's who they are.
When the Plaquemine Green Devils maybe bring some hardware back to that side of the river. Scotlandville, as we mentioned, hammered Central 34-0. Excuse me. St. Michael the Archangel defeated Bel Air 38-20. St. Thomas Aquinas over Pope John Paul 41-0. St. Thomas More over Karen Crow 28-19. Wrapping it up, U High in that big District 6-3A battle, that old-fashioned bitter rivalry, defeated Parkview Baptist 29-21. Big slugfest there. That could be a preview of some playoff action. And finally, Zachary just got by the hair of their chinny chin chin over Denham Springs 32-30, and West Feliciana over Port Allen 44-30. So a lot of district action there, a lot of close games in district play, which is kind of what we expect this time of the year.
Did we mention our host school today, man?
Oh my!
On Thursday night.
That's why I didn't see it. I did not look at the Thursday night scores. And Southern Lab defeated a very, very high quality opponent. Southern Lab defeated White Castle 22-12. That game was moved one day early so it could be played at Baker High School. And Coach Marcus Randall, who will be joining us this hour, and his team, they were up 22-0. We brought you some White Castle football early this year. We brought them to you before. Right. Coach Lamar Thomas runs a top-notch program over there. They slugged it out with Donaldsonville earlier here who's a classification higher, they can play. And that running back, Dontrell Thomas, is a stud whose legs never stop running. Well, these very same Southern Lab kittens brought the wood to them, which tells me that this Southern Lab team could be on the verge of maybe taking it one step further in the playoffs this year, having lost in the state finals last year and in the semifinals the year before.
Oh yeah, man. High school football in Baton Rouge is really looking good this year. You all should be excited and proud of your prepsters in the area. They are really doing a fantastic job, along with the coaches. And Eric, just think, man, 2 weeks before the season, we weren't sure if we were going to have referees.
Right.
And everything worked out, and football is looking really good.
The football gods always seem to smile on South Louisiana some way, and I don't think that's a coincidence, you know. Not a coincidence at all. We have a proud tradition here, and we love our football. We love our kids to participate in football, and I think it brings out the best in us as a community and our young people. So we've talked about the young men, but hey, why are we out here today? Because of some boys too, men, some grown men, some college men, some Southern University Jaguars, as they're going to get ready to slug it out in a battle of the felines as the SWAC rival Prairie View A&M Panthers are coming on down to Southern University on the bluff. And these Jaguars ain't bluffing, as they have not spent. You know, Perry, you know how Southern University, remember that time they were trailing against that SWAC opponent earlier this year?
Yeah.
I don't, because it hasn't happened. Not once. The Southern University Jaguars have not trailed for 1 minute against a SWAC opponent. They are 3-0 in SWAC competition. They've led for all of 17 minutes in all 3 games combined. So this Southern University team, you know, they were mired in some of the NCAA academic bureaucracy, blah, 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 blah issues. Well, you know what? That's all over with. These Jaguars have their eye on the SWAC, and they've been busting the SWAC out. And the Prairie View Panthers, while they are 3-1 under Coach Simmons, who's got that program turned around in a big way, and actually the Prairie View Panthers are making their own run in the SWAC West. Hey, you got to come out here to the bluff. You got to get ready, and you got to get ready for this crowd that's going to be very excited. And I think it's a good day to be a Jaguar.
It absolutely is, Eric. This isn't a typical opponent that you would have for a homecoming type game. This Prairie View team's pretty good. This isn't the Prairie View that was around in 1990 when I was on campus. So the Jaguars are really going to have to bring their offense as well as their defense today to make this a celebratory homecoming for the Jaguar faithful.
Oh, I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I'll tell you what, the Jaguar faithful, they have come prepared, as I can't stop smelling this barbecue. That game is at 4 o'clock today. It is on, going to be on Cox Sports Television. If you can't make it to the TV, it will also be on 106.5 KQXL at 4 o'clock. Well, look, let's talk about what we got. We got 2 teams. We got two teams with championship aspirations. You look at Southern University, they went on the road to Alabama State, and I mean, I guess in a manner of speaking, it was a shootout, but the bottom line is we're starting to see it with Austin Howard. Is that the young
Howard?
Austin Howard threw for over 300 yards last week, 4 touchdown passes, and Willie Quinn, Fast Willie. I'm trying to think of a cool nickname. He's 5'5", he's got all kinds of speed, he's a Jaguar. I've got to tie it together, but this young man is just worth the price of admission. Over 12 receptions, I want to say it was 146 yards last week. I don't have the sheet in front of me, and a touchdown. You have Austin Howard clicking and Willie Quinn clicking, and I don't care what Prairie View A&M brings to the table. And they've been pretty good themselves with their quarterback, Mr. Abear. I can't think of his first name, but I think the Jags are looking good today. I'm going to tell you right now, for next week's I Told You So segment, I'm already going with the Jags. I like them today here at homecoming.
That's awesome, man. Austin Howard was the SWAC Player of the Week, completing for 355 yards last week, 33 completions on 45 attempts for a total of 355 yards as he led the Jaguars over the Alabama State Hornets 45-34. Great job, Austin Howard. He's a 6-foot even kid, 190 pounds, from Edgar, Louisiana.
Oh, good call, Perry. Let me tell you, I think what's going to come down, the keys to this game, you know, SWAC football often has a lot of offense. It's punctuated by a lot of speed, a lot of offense, but I think it's going to come down to scoring in the red zone and defense. The Southern University Jaguars, if I remember correctly, are number 1 in the SWAC in red zone scoring at a clip of about 94%. The Prairie View Panthers are a little bit lower down the line. They're in the 80s. This is key because for two teams, excuse me, that average 48 points a game apiece, Southern University scores more in the red zone and also has a higher touchdown percentage than Prairie View A&M. So if you're going to have a lot of points and you're going to have a close game and it's dictated by speed, that one drive, that one possession where Prairie View might have to settle for 3 instead of for 7 could be the difference, I think will be the difference in this ball game, Perry.
Hey, and Prairie View actually had the defensive player of the week, and I just lost that information as I try to gain it back. But it's interesting. It's a cornerback for Prairie View. So it's going to be interesting to see how that matches up against Austin Howard and that terrific Jaguar offense. They're not just one-dimensional on offense, those Jaguars. They have a couple of different options with Leonard Tillery, Willie Quinn, as you mentioned in the beginning of the show. Just a great receiving core. So
don't forget Mike Jones, and he's been quiet, relatively quiet this year. And I mean, he's due to break out anytime.
Absolutely. So on the other side of town.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. hey, just because we're remote doesn't mean we forgot our clips, folks. Hey, don't forget, audience. Well, never mind. We're going. That's right, rolling quickly, rolling swiftly in the hoopty ride. The LSU Tigers have got their own big battle today as they are hosting the Florida Gators. Wait, we have a special guest. Coach Dawson Odom stepped up to the podium. Coach, good morning. Look, we got to move on to LSU, but do you have any remarks real quick? We'd love for you to talk to the crowd. Of course, how could I have not known? Playing with his money is like playing with his emotions. So, look, moving on, the Florida Gators are really a surprise story of the Southeastern Conference this year. They're one of those teams, when you see them on the schedule, honestly, if you're one of the LSUs or the Bammers, or I should go in the East, if you're one of the Georgias or Tennessees in the world, you might be licking your chops thinking this is a chance for an easy conference win. But Florida has shocked everybody. They're undefeated so far. They're getting, Coach McElwain has just instilled a lot of confidence in these very talented kids. Talent was never the issue for the Florida Gators. It was a matter of execution, and they are playing lights out. They defeated Tennessee earlier. They're putting a lot of points up. They do have some challenges though. As their starting quarterback, I believe it's Will Grimes. I keep forgetting his name. I believe it's Will Grimes, was caught using PEDs. He's suspended for a full year. Now they got to bring Treon Harris back into the fold. And the bottom line, the reason Harris got benched in the first place is he's just not throwing the football, and Treon Harris don't always go hand in hand. It's going to make them a little more one-dimensional, a little more option-oriented. I think that plays into the hands of the LSU defense, who will not be challenged with passing. And of course, we all know LSU's offensive game plan is to run the ball, and if you're facing a third and long, hey, run the ball again.
Absolutely, Eric. That cornerback's name for Prairie View is Foster Brown out of Athens, Georgia. He was the defensive player of the week, actually out of College Park, Georgia. He was the defensive player of the week for the SWAC at 5'10", 170 pounds. Eric, I love your assessment of the LSU game, and Florida just doesn't have the run defense. No one in the country seems to have the run defense to stop Leonard Fournette. But Florida's is a little worse than most, and I think Fournette should have a very big day today.
Yeah, I gotta say, Leonard Fournette, it's ridiculous. My moniker for the man is grown man football, because that's what he's playing. He ran all over the South Carolina Gamecocks, put up another 3-digit figure, and actually rested throughout most of the fourth quarter. He is leading by most of the pundits and Heisman analysts. He is the prohibitive favorite right now for the Heisman Trophy, along with Nick Chubb of the University of Georgia and Ezekiel Elliott, the running back at Ohio State, and the quarterback at TCU, Trayvon Boykin. This is an interesting year in the Heisman race. Number one, to have an LSU player so far out in front. I mean, we tried to, promote Zach Mettenberger a few years ago and Kevin Falk back in the day, and of course the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu was a finalist in 2011. But Leonard Fournette right now appears to be the one to beat. That's interesting because 13 of the last 14 years, the Heisman Trophy has been awarded to a quarterback. That one exception being Mark Ingram back in 2010. Well, it's a whole different Heisman race, and Leonard Fournette is running away with it the way he's run away with the football for most of this season.
Absolutely, Eric, and a nice young kid. So
sure is.
Couldn't happen to a better young man. What else is going on the college scene, man? We've got a big game in, is it in College Station?
Oh, we got a big game in college. We got a couple of big games going on. Let's talk about the Southeastern Conference as we have Alabama and Nick Saban and company, and you know, they of course have their blemish on their record already from Ole Miss. They're going to Texas A&M, number 9 Texas A&M. I believe Alabama's number 8, and this is a rejuvenated Texas A&M team. Kevin Sutherland has Texas A&M passing and throwing and scoring and doing what they've been doing very well for the prior 2 seasons. But what is different this year is that the Texas A&M defense actually has a pulse, and when they poached Coach John Chavis from LSU, they knew what they were doing. Now look, I'm not going to say that they're the college version of the '85 Bears, or that they're even on the level with the Alabama Crimson Tide or even the LSU Tigers yet, but what they were the last 2 years in 2013 and 2014 was absolutely porous and incapable of stopping a physical team like Alabama. That's not the case. You cannot just have your way with these Aggies anymore. That game is at Kyle Field. I have been there. It is hot. Those students are rowdy. Nick Saban is going to have his hands full in there today, but I do think a healthy dose of Derrick Henry, and if Jake Coker just doesn't go Jake Coker and just does what he's supposed to do, I still think Nick Saban, being Nick Saban with his process and his players, I still think has the advantage. I don't think the Aggies are there yet, but they're getting closer and closer and closer. For the record, I like the Alabama Crimson Tide.
I'm with you here all the way, partner. Let me tell you, I owe an apology to the great Nick Saban for doubting him going into Athens, Georgia. And I just want to say that I recognize that, sir, and they'll never fool me again. I believe in what you do, and I believe in the process, and I think that you will come out victorious in College Station, although I really like what that Texas A&M team is putting together, and they are a program of the future, but I just can't doubt the great Nick Saban anymore.
Yeah, I don't think A&M is there yet. Also, you know, we don't talk a lot of Big Ten football this early in the year, but there's a game you just cannot ignore, and that's Michigan and Michigan State. And what can I say? I mean, the big house, the big blue and the big house is back in college football. Jim Harbaugh, I don't like using the word miracle, but in a sports sense, it's nothing short of a miracle, as they've pitched 3 straight shutouts, and they're getting ready to face Michigan State, who I think is making probably their most serious run at the college football playoff that they made in a very long time. Michigan State, if I recall, is ranked number 6. They're undefeated. Michigan ranked number 12 after they got their hats handed to them by Utah. Coach Jim Harbaugh, who has taken an NFL team to the Super Bowl, I think that formula is starting to wear off. And Coach Jim Harbaugh is a different kind of guy. He doesn't walk a straight line. He marches to the beat of his own drum. He's a little kooky, but his methods work, and I think his kids are buying into him. He is a Michigan man. The alumni are loving it up there, and Coach D'Antoni, you know, who's getting, you know, you got to get his Chris Christie on. He looks a little bit like Coach Christie, like Governor Christie, and he better be leading his troops today, because I think Michigan might be bringing a little Bridgegate to the Coach Christie look-alike. I'm not going to pick him in an upset. I do think Michigan State's the real deal this year, but this is not last year's or the last 7 years Michigan team.
Okay, so Joker, I believe Joker's taking LSU, of course, in that game.
Alrighty.
And it looks like he's taking Michigan over Michigan State.
Okay, so he's buying into the Harbaugh plan.
Wow. I'm going to stay with Michigan State on that one. I don't know, though. I'm a little worried because Michigan lost last week, and they may have been overlooking Utah.
That was week 1. That was week 1.
That was week 1. Yeah. Right now they're on a roll.
Yeah. 3 straight shutouts.
So I'm gonna take Michigan State.
And in Big Ten play, you know, it's gonna be fun to watch. That game, I believe, is going to be on. It's either ABC or ESPN. They're all related, but Hey man, if you're a college football fan, this is the day to kick back at your tailgate, come out to Southern University, get your TV set up, or get some friends over at home, kick on the TV and relax. It is a fantastic day for college football.
So now we're going to take a little musical break, and I am here at Southern University Homecoming for my 25th anniversary of joining this prestigious organization called Omega Psi-Phi, and I pledged in the year of 1990. I'm here with a lot of my line brothers, and this song was going on in 1990 when Chubb Rock jumped up on the scene. So go ahead, Joker, let's get that going.
Okay, so we're getting the signal back from Michigan Troll. We're back on there. Chubb Rock. I know it's a different song, but anyway, as always, fantastic pick from back in the old days, back in the golden age of hip hop, as we had Chubb Rock on with us. So, Coach, we're here at the Southern campus. I'm thinking, we got some fine people out here. We should probably chit-chat with some of the folks. There's a lot of, you can hear the music in the background. Everybody's having a great time. There are folks out selling snacks, some kids out playing. And I'm gonna see if these folks over here want to be on the radio. As we're going around the Southern University campus, would you like to we're on the air live right now. We're wondering if we could talk to you. No? You can send some folks over. Oh, they're all camera shy. All right, well that's okay. Anyway, go ahead and pick up some snacks and refreshments around campus. I'm looking at all this chili and cheese and crackers, and I can smell barbecue and po' boys. And we have, of course, some refreshments being served around here. And Perry's running, I think, one of his, I'm going to guess is one of your frat brothers?
Yes, sir. This is DJ Slaughter, world famous DJ around town. Everybody knows him. DJ Slaughter, we are live on the radio, WHYR, Baton Rouge Community Radio right now as we speak, man. So just talk to the listeners about the atmosphere that's going on here right now.
It's lovely. Everybody need to come on out. We represent with the SU Lab alumni on campus, SU homecoming. Everybody need to make it up here right now.
So DJ, who are you picking? DJ Slaughter, who are you picking in today's game against Prairie View?
Man, SU, man.
He's going with his namesake. He says it's going to be a slaughter. DJ Slaughter's calling Slaughter. SU. What about you, sir? You look like you're just maxing, relaxing, ready to have a good time today.
We definitely look forward to coming down to Baton Rouge every year for the homecoming festivities. Alumni from near and far always come back around this time of year to participate in homecoming.
Where are you living now, sir?
Live in Houston, Texas.
All right, H-Town. So I know they got it's a Texas Southern over there in Houston, right?
We'll be there next week. We play Texas Southern for their homecoming.
So it's TSU. They always talking noise or something.
And the Houston alumni chapter over there in Texas. We're ready. We're going to have a nice little set out for everybody to come through and participate. Is that a special request?
Yeah.
We got crawfish in. We'll have crawfish for you. We look forward to seeing you guys.
All righty. Southern versus Prairie View. Who are you picking today?
Oh, SU all the way.
Oh, SU all the way. It's unanimous so far here. Thank you very much. And so I think everybody here on Louisiana All American Sports is in agreement that the Southern Jags are poised for a victory today. So as we're talking about the Southern Jags, we're making predictions here. I think it's about that time.
Yeah, it's about that time.
Okay.
Talk about what happened. Who said what?
Yep. Well, I'll tell you what, as we always do around this time, we're always putting our pride where our mouths are, and get ready for another edition of this week's I Told You So.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
What? I'm going to just go ahead and throw myself out there for the I Told You So. I'm going to tell you so. Willie Quinn, one way or the other, is going to be the difference in the Jaguars winning or losing this week. I think so.
I pretty much second that, man. I think that they're getting more confident. So I'm definitely picking Southern. Michael Myers.
I believe Southern University will pull it off because I feel like they got a well-set defense and their offense is really explosive.
Yeah! Playing with my money is like playing with my emotion.
Yes, sir.
Well, of course, I'm going to pick LSU. I'm going to go with LSU.
Oh, I'm definitely going. I mean, South Carolina, first of all, got stripped of a home game through no fault of their own, and I think LSU is a better team. And as Coach Perry Daniels would say, that man, number 7, LSU all the way. Mr. Myers?
I believe LSU all the way because I just.
Yeah, then. So stick with the.
I just told y'all.
All right, so I'm going to make it unanimous.
They about 19.
Hey, and I'm going to take my 19 and a half. Y'all can have it straight up. I'm going to take my 19 and a half and I'm going to still win. Watch.
Saints are going to Philadelphia this week, and if Drew Brees is himself, which it looks like he is, the Saints have a chance. I'm still going to pick the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm going to actually go with the Saints in this game.
Mr. Myers, what do you think?
I just feel like it's the NFL, so it can go either way in my opinion. So I gotta go with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Man, this is a tough. I'm going to say that the Saints are inspired and they pull out another W this weekend against the Arsenal.
So you're taking this. You're taking.
I'm taking the Saints plus 7.5.
The Rangers.
Except for the Cardinals. So we got 2 Cardinals on the panel. We have what are you here? Houston Astros, right?
I mean, that's my American League team of choice, but I'd like the St. Louis Cardinals.
Like,
if I'm going to pick
so we
one.
got 3 Cardinals. I'm going, and I told you this already. I'm going with the Cubs.
Oh. So, I'll tell you, the Saints. I don't know what to think. They're coming and going. I mean, they got absolutely curb stomped by the Philadelphia Eagles, and then came back and handed. Well, how should I put it? Took the goose egg out of the Atlanta Falcons' loss column last week.
Yeah, man, truly amazing. You know, last year we used to talk about there was a certain department on campus that we felt like the LSU players should go and visit. Well, I think that has migrated down to New Orleans now, and they seem to have some schizophrenic tendencies there because they looked really good the other night.
You know, the defense did something. I'm not utterly shocked. First of all, and as we always know, in a division game, you throw the records out the window. We can say that a million times. But Rob Ryan's system is one, when it is successful, it's when they can get pressure. And the Atlanta Falcons have some holes in their offensive line. I think the Washington Redskins game exposed that. And then they were able to get pressure on the quarterback, and they were able to punch the ball out a few times. The Saints have got a long, long way to go. But, you know, they've got a lighter part of the schedule coming up. You know, they got, I believe it's the Giants coming up next. But then after that, you know, they got the likes of the Texans and the Jaguars, and they have the Buccaneers again. I mean, there are some winnable games in that schedule. Will they go into the playoffs? Not probable. Will they go deep in the playoffs? I think almost impossible. But I don't think this season is not completely down the drain yet. And they demonstrated that they do still have some gas in the tank. And Drew Brees demonstrated he still has some bullets in his cannon on Thursday night.
I think they should shut it down right now and get ready for the draft. I'm telling you, man, you beat the Falcons at home, you beat the Cowboys. What else is there to do? Stop while you're ahead.
I think many a Saints fan could definitely stomach a 2-14 or a 3-13 season with some wins over the Atlanta Falcons. And it is October, and of course October is a wonderful time of the year if you're a fan of Major League Baseball. I don't think it's such a wonderful time of the year for Perry Daniels, as we heard on the or the Fixer for that matter, if he's listening, as you heard on the I Told You So. As I thought St. Louis was poised to go all the way this year, I know Coach and the Fixer, who are Cardinals fans, thought this was another special year, but you know who told us so, and that was Joe Capee. And he said he thinks this is the year for the Chicago Cubs, and they did close out the St. Louis Cardinals in 4 games, and they will be facing the New York Mets. The Mets are having a bit of a Cinderella season. They have not won the World Series since '86. The Cubs have not won a World Series since 1906. So some history is going to change in the National League, and I am happy. It is a nice story, even if our favorite teams, my Dodgers, of course, were unceremoniously eliminated by the Mets on Thursday night. So there's not a lot of fan rooting interest here at Louisiana All American Sports, except for Joker, who told us so. But still, I think it's a good storyline for sports, for these teams that have strong, dedicated fan bases and are going to get some glory for the first time in many, many years.
Absolutely, Eric, and big props to the Kansas City Royals who won Game 1 of the ALCS last night, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens between the Cubs and the Mets. Let me say that there's nothing that can make a Cardinals fan more frustrated than not only being eliminated in the first round of the division series when you've won 100 games in a season, but doing it to the Chicago Cubs. And that's almost like a real slap in the face, because it was the Cubs, and the only thing that could compound that issue is if the Cubs go win the World Series. That would just make it even that much more horrific that this took place.
You know, and it's funny because it's too bad you can't see our faces as I'm describing, like, yeah, it's a great feel-good story, period. And look at his face, yeah, I'm not feeling it. I'm not trying to hear that old jive. We got a text from Coach Marcus Randall. We're efforting him. He's walking over the hump right now. So I am here with Southern University Lab High School football coach Marcus Randall. Coach, thank you for joining us this morning. You guys are having another great year. Tell us about your journey here and about the program. Catch the audience up with what's going on with you.
Actually, since I took the job in April, I've been trying to put some things in place. Me and the rest of the coaches trying to get that culture change around here. They're already on the right track. Just trying to come in, put my stamp on it. The guys have pretty much fell in line. We're pretty much over the halfway of the season point now. 5-2. We looking pretty good. We're in the driver's seat right now for district. It's probably going to come down to Kentwood game as the district championship game. They had a pretty good game last night. And so, basically just keep pushing, trying to get better every week. And, hopefully at the end of the season, we could be what we plan to be. You guys defeated a very, very, very good White Castle team handily on Thursday night. This is not a team. This team beat Donaldsonville. They play teams higher up, much like you guys do. How did you beat this team with that tough running game and Dontrell Thomas and Coach Thomas always schemes well? How'd y'all do it? We actually came in. I think we had a good game plan put in place. We still didn't do as well as I thought that we should have done, but maybe coming back off the long trip last week to IMG and then having a short week to prepare for this week here may have had something to do with it. But I think that the boys came out. They played hard. They played for 48 minutes, and that's what we preach. Finishing the game and finishing strong. You have a lot of exceptional students on your team. Louisiana All American Sports listeners are very familiar with two of them, quarterback Bladrick Veal and running back Darbion Prophet. We haven't had a chance to bring a game yet, but could you tell the audience, catch them up on the progress of those two young men? They're doing great for our team. They're two seniors that play a lot of football. They got a lot of accolades from last year. They're trying to build on those things for this year. And those guys have been playing exceptional for us. Darbion, he's been the leader that we asked him to be as far as the offense goes. Him and Bladrick actually. And they've been carrying the team because our line is other than the two seniors that we have. We got two freshmen, a 10th grader, so our line is, they're pretty young. So, those guys need that motivation pretty much on and off the field. Are there, I know they got all these weird rules, so if you can't discuss it, that's fine. But what, as far as after high school, what kind of prospects do those young men have and some of the other guys on your team? Since I got here in the spring, it's been a lot of coaches coming through and, talking to those guys. As you know, that they're athletic guys, that they have the test scores. So that's they got 2 pluses up right now. And I think that they're going to just, keep adding on to those things. But I know I got a couple calls last night that, I guess the communication period can open back up for with college because to start, actually reaching back out to players. So I think that, the calls are going to start ringing up a lot more. Nice crowd out here for the Southern University. One quick question going back to Lab.
They won the state championship last year, state semifinals year before. I think the expectation, is it safe to say the expectation is championship or bust this year? And how realistic are those expectations?
The expectations are real reasonable. I mean, those are the things, just like you just stated. I mean, they've been going, they've been getting gradually getting better over the last 3 years. Went quarterfinal, semifinal, then went to the final game, didn't win it, but actually got there. A lot of people don't even get a chance to get to that game. But the expectations are for us to go back and be back in that game and win the game this year.
I think you guys can do it. Great atmosphere out here for Southern University's homecoming. What are some of your plans on campus today? You were telling me before we started the interview you're going to be a very busy man.
Right, yeah. For what the coach is around here for Southern Homecoming, a lot of the SU Lab alumni come back and they do a big thing right here on the front lawn, as you see right now going on. Because of course a lot of these SU Lab alumni actually went to Southern too as well. So this is a big thing for our kids to get to see some of the alumni come back, not just for homecoming, for our homecoming, but also Southern homecoming. Showing that united build that we have between the university and the lab school.
And I know you're going to be moseying on to the other side of town for that big SEC showdown today. Talk about it just in general. The LSU experience, life since LSU, your relationship with the school. So you cut me, I believe, purple and gold too. So believe me, I was definitely wanting to hear about that part too.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Florida comes in as a top-ranked team, and so does LSU. I think that this goes back to one of those rivalries of old. Florida haven't been this, haven't had this type of season in a long time. So I know they're going to come in ready to play. But LSU, I think that running game may be a little bit too strong for them. They've been running the football and they've been doing it well. So that that allows to eat the clock up, ball security, keep the ball longer, and I think by the third, fourth quarter, I think we should have them worn down by then.
That number 7's playing some grown man football, huh?
Yeah, man. When I seen the Auburn game and I saw that one in person, I was like, man, he on another level. At that point, I knew he was on another level, and he was and all the talk and all the hype about the Heisman was actually in his reach.
What do you think is the ceiling for LSU this year? I personally kind of tried to tamper my expectations, but now, as I'm seeing them, they look just as viable as any other SEC school.
Yeah, pretty much from all the other schools I've seen, the Alabama, the Ole Miss. I know Auburn not the team of old, but Auburn still Auburn, and getting to see those teams play and watching LSU play with the defense that they play in the running game that they have. You can put them up there with anybody. I feel.
Last question before I let you run, because I know you got plans, and I appreciate you giving us your time. We got a lot of LSU alums who listen to the show every week, and there's no way I could have an interview with. And I was also in graduate school back in '03, so I was around I was kind of sort of a student, a little older, for some of the good years. But there's no way I could let you go. I hope I get this play right without asking about Dash 93 Right Berlin. I'm sure, much like Doug Flutie, you might be tired of hearing about it, but you realize it's never going away. It might actually be on your epitaph.
Right. Yeah. I know that was one of those plays that that's going to go down in LSU history. Everywhere I go, I hear about it. I'm not tired of hearing about it.
Good. I'm happy.
At first I was, but then now it looked like that's a great thing, and I like hearing the stories that people come back and tell me where they were when the play happened and how they thought it was over and all those different things. So hearing those stories, that's that really kind of brings back the buy-in.
Well, look, it's great to talk to you finally in person. Louisiana All American Sports is a big SU Lab house, so we were thrilled to find out you're coaching. I'm a big LSU guy, so I'm thrilled to have you here. We're all thrilled, and you're doing a fantastic job with these kids. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
All right. It's an interesting story. It's going to be, no matter who makes it, the Toronto Blue Jays have not won a World Series since 1993.
Right.
The Kansas City Royals have not won a World Series since 1985. So something very different is going to happen in Major League Baseball this year. Now, to your point about the Kansas City Royals, this team, I think the stars cannot line up for them any better. They were eliminated in Game 7 of the World Series last year, and really they might have won had Madison Bumgarner not pulled out his cape with the letter S on it and had a Herculean pitching effort to eliminate the Royals. The Royals look just as resolute, their constitution, and by their constitution being strong, they're not over till you get the last breath out of them. They trailed by 4 runs in the 8th inning of Game 4 of the ALDS against the Astros. The Astros were leading 2-1. They had their plane tickets punched for the ALCS, and Kansas City came back and scored 5 more runs, scored 7 runs, and and took that series in Game 5. These Royals are very good. They run the bases well. They're coached very well. Their bullpen is just made of bulls. And I don't think those Royals, I think right now the Royals might be the team to beat, considering the elimination of the Cardinals and Dodgers.
Hey man, it's going to be interesting. The Toronto team can score a lot of points. That hasn't shown up yet in this series, so anticipate that. Hey man, let's give a big shout out to Baton Rouge native Simone Augustus, won her third WNBA championship in the past 5 years with the Minnesota Lynx. Congratulations, Simone Augustus. You've made the folks in Baton Rouge very proud of your career.
Absolutely. You know, we were talking about this last night on the Louisiana All American Sports Game of the Week on WHYR. And look, you know, some people, when they come through the amateur ranks, the high school ranks, and the college ranks, they might not be all that cracked up to be in high school or strike that. They might not be all that cracked up to be in college, or if they get to the pros, they may be good, maybe efficient, but not great. Simone Augustus has been great, has been dominant from Capitol High School to LSU going to the 4 straight Final Fours, and now with the Minnesota Lynx in the pros playing against the best women's players in the world, not just in the U.S., they're dominating there too. 3 championships in 5 years. And while, you know, the women's athletics on the professional level might not get the run that men's sports do, and for all the reasons we could talk about later, she has been an absolute story, somebody to make Baton Rouge proud, a true dominant athlete, a true all-time great in the history of athletes who have come through the city of Baton Rouge.
Absolutely, Aaron. Also, Lamar Odom seems to be improving. That's a developing situation. Sports fans, keep your eyes on that. Let's hope Lamar pulls through and hope that he gets his life together. He was on his comeback and this unfortunate setback, but Lamar Odom, our prayers are with you, sir.
Absolutely, and that was definitely good news. He's, of course, as that story is progressing, he is off life support. He is breathing on his own. There were reports that he was speaking yesterday. This is all very good for a man who was unconscious and in a comatose state for about 2 days and was fighting for his life. So that's very good news. Also, we heard a report last night. Now, these are semi-unconfirmed, but we were also sharing the press box with the Central High School radio team. And, of course, Devin Gales, the Southern University player who suffered a serious spinal injury a few weeks ago at Athens, Georgia. The Central High radio crew is telling us that there are some reports that he has sensation below his waist. They were saying the injury was to the C6 vertebra, which is very critical when it comes to motion and walking. And if he's having sensation below his waist less than a month after the injury, that is very, very promising. Big ups to that Central community for rallying around Mr. Gales. Big ups to the University of Georgia for their trainers and medical staff taking very swift action that may have preserved that young man's condition and his future vitality. And big props to Mark Rick, who is a coach of Georgia, who rallied the community around them. The Georgia program flew in the Gales family. The way that they've rallied around, the way the community has rallied around this young man in the wake of such a serious injury, again, it's one of the positive things about sports, the things you want to hear more and more and more about.
Real quickly, man, tell the folks about the NBA player that was just found not guilty of the charges alleged against him.
Absolutely. Thabo Sefolosha of the Atlanta Hawks was preparing for a game against the Knicks last season, just before the playoffs. He was basically targeted and accosted and harassed by some New York cops.
He was donating money to a homeless man at the time that the cops jumped him, man.
And he was donating, but they say you're disturbing the peace and encouraging vagrants. And I don't even know what kind of nonsense that was. But Thabo Sefolosha, he's from Sweden, but he's clearly of African descent if you ever look at him. He looks like a black man. He's been in the U.S. for a long time. So anyway, they got into an altercation with the cops. They wound up breaking his leg. He was out for the season. I don't think that, just on the basketball front, that probably was the fragile thread that snapped the Hawks' playoff ambitions. But of course, he's hurt. Then they had the nerve to bring criminal charges against him. They offered him a plea deal for community service and like ties. So he said no. They offered him a plea deal with no community service. He said no. He went to court, not guilty. That's how I stay guilty.
So just like Joker always says, that athletes cannot separate themselves from the community because you are part of the community. You see what happens to people of color when the police are around. We need all the athletes to stand up and take a stand. Hey man, it's about time for us to get out of here. Our first show from Southern University. We're so glad that you joined us. Yes, the SU fans, Joker, Chan, great job back in Central Control.
Have a
good afternoon, ADT, JNS, love you.
Bye, y'all.
I like it though. You get lots of love. May He protect us from the evil. Hail to the King. Lots of love. May He protect us from evil.